Hello YouTube, Dan Brolo here. I'm going to review my new quadcopter. I've had it for about a week now. It's the X400W made by MJX. I first bought this drone and at first I thought, yeah, it's not bad. And then after a day or two, started thinking, this thing's not very good at all. It's low power. The camera's not very good. And then I kind of came around and thought, this is actually a pretty decent drone with some changes made. So I'm going to tell you everything I've done, and I hope it's helpful to some of you. I bought this on Amazon.ca. I'm in Canada, and I only bought it actually because it's so cheap. It's $60 Canadian, and that's under 50 US. And on Amazon.com, it's currently, I believe it's 99 US. So I could get it in Canada for $60 Canadian with free shipping. So that's pretty awesome. I bought one. And I also bought two others and mailed them directly to some of my good friends just as gifts. So that's pretty awesome. Let's go over what's included. First, there's the remote. The transmitter works pretty good. The range, according to the manual, is 100 meters, and I would say that's true, if not more. In the instructions, it indicates what all these buttons do, but it's pretty straightforward. There's off, on. You have your trims. That should all be straightforward to anyone who knows how these work. The buttons on the top, I'll point out what they do, and I actually put little stickers on here just as a quickie reminder. So there are lights on this drone. The manual says headlights. They're not headlights. They're the LEDs on the bottom. And you can turn those off if you're flying during the day and you want to save the battery power. So you can just flick the thing here off and on to turn the lights off and on. If you hold this for 2 seconds, the drone goes into headless mode. You can read up about how that works. It makes it so that kids can fly the drone. It's easier to navigate. There's a mode switch, doesn't really explain it in the manual, but from what I can tell, it swaps what the two sticks do, which is really weird. I hate this button. I pressed it accidentally a couple times and almost crashed, so I just pretty much ignore that button. This drone has auto flip built in, which is pretty cool. You just fly along, you hit that button right there, flip, and the drone does a flip. It's easy and quite impressive. And lastly, there's a low speed / high speed toggle button. If you press that button and toggle to low speed, you'll hear one beep, and then you press it again, you hear 2 beeps. So when you hear 1 beep, that means it's in low speed, easier to control. It's better for indoor flying. And then if you want to go faster, you hit the button again, it beeps twice. So the controller works just fine. So let's go on to the drone. The drone, when it's fully assembled, sort of like what you see on Amazon, it has propeller guards, landing gear, and a camera. And yeah, it comes with all that stuff. Comes with 4 propeller guards, which are very easy to install. Comes with landing gear, and it also comes with this camera. And the camera, you can actually adjust the height on it, and it just easily connects with 2 screws holding it in place onto the bottom of the drone with a wire that connects to it. And you can use Wi-Fi on your phone to connect to this for first-person view flying. But I've got to say, forget about using this thing. I'm trying to be polite, but this camera sucks. It really does. The quality is low. The video records at 640 by 480 at 10 frames per second, but the reception is so choppy with Wi-Fi, it's not usable for first-person view. The video footage also is really nothing to write home about. It's very low quality with a lot of like just dead sections where you don't see anything. I'll actually just pull up a movie here and kind of show you what to expect if my computer will cooperate. So this is just flying around in my living room, and you can see chop, 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 chop. And this is with me like 4 feet away from the drone, so the reception is perfect. Look at that, like it freezes. freezes, 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 freezes. Quite low quality. But then later on in the video, I take it outside. Here we go. So I take it out my front door. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Like there's no way you could fly this drone out of your sight and just look at your phone, because the video just, it's not good. So I did get some altitude just to kind of look around the neighborhood, but yeah, it's definitely not a first-person view drone. So the video footage got boring after a day of trying to get it to work properly, so I gave up on that. So I figured, yeah, I was really stoked reading on Amazon how you could do first-person view on it, and wouldn't that be amazing? And I had some VR goggles, and you know, that'll be fun, but forget about that. So anyway, what I then decided to do was make it kind of sportier. So I stripped it down. I took all the propeller guards off. I took the landing gear off, and I took the camera off. I just got rid of all this stuff and just ran the drone as a stripped down sort of sporty version. And I gotta say, it's way faster and the battery life is way better when you run it just like this. It's quite a responsive, fairly quick drone for $60 Canadian. It's actually quite good. You get extra stuff when you buy it. You get a bag of extra propellers, which are great. The propellers are quite sturdy. I've had other drones and the propellers are more breakable, so the propellers are good. Motors seem to work well. I want to show you something on Google Earth that just kind of details how durable this drone is. This is my neighborhood, and I just want to show you something that happened here. So I live here, if you can see, I live here, and there's a park close to me over here, and this is what you're seeing right now. That's 100-meter distance from my house to sort of the end of this park. Or if I flew my drone down the road, right here is also, that's 100 meters. So that's how far this thing is known to be able to travel. So here's what happened to me. I thought I would fly it out of my backyard, and it was nighttime, and come over here, do a circle, and then come back. And yeah, it flew out here. I took it up too high. It was windy, and then the wind, and to show you what ended up happening, the wind got it, and it kept drifting off, drifting off, drifting off. And you can see in the top left the distance that we're looking at here, still drifting. And it was right around here, around 190 meters, that the reception started to go, and the lights, LED lights, were flickering, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, this isn't good. And then it drifted, drifted, drifted. It went over this tree line, and now we're at 220 meters, so way past this range. And it disappeared. So what I did was I ran after it. I ran through the park here. I ran across the road. I went over here. I went to this other park, and I was looking around. Long story short, the drone was still turned on, and if I blipped the transmitter, I could hear the electric motors spinning. So I walked all over here, and this is a construction area. I ended up finding it like in here. So the distance was about 345 meters from home. That was the total distance from where it left to where I found it. And again, manual says take it no further than this, and it flew all the way to here. So that's crazy. And it wasn't all that worse for wear when I found it, and it was on a rooftop, but I grabbed my ladder and got it down. One of the motors had popped out, which is just 2 screws here to put it back in. And I had it all back together, so that was cool. What I noticed though was it had weakened power, and it would still hover, but it was kind of prone to tipping a little bit, and it would fly like this. And I tested each motor out, just listening to it. It sounded okay, and I was starting to think maybe the board inside was damaged, like the gyro was bad. But what I discovered was that actually one of the motors here had taken some damage. But it's so easy to open up these drones and work on them. If you do need new parts, you can go on eBay. They're dirt cheap, like $4 or $5 for a motor. These plastic casings, you can buy those on eBay for $1 each. I bought 4 of them that are on the way. I don't need them, but it's good to have spares. And I bought some extra motors. So what I did was I actually just took this all apart. It takes it's 5 screws to take the whole thing apart. It just pops right off, very easy. And yeah, you can clean out the gears, just get all the dirt out, and then it ran great again. The propeller had cracked. This is the propeller that was on there. And I took a felt pen to it just so that I remembered that it was cracked. And yeah, there was a crack there. But comes with new propellers. Stuck a new propeller on there, and it's working great again. So I was flying this thing today, and it hovers nice and stable again. Again, $60 Canadian. This is very impressive. I'm really happy with it. It comes with 1 battery, so I highly recommend that you get additional batteries. And I went on eBay and bought 6 750 milliamp batteries. You can get 6 of them plus a charger, and I just keep it down here actually. Yeah, I've got 4 batteries on the charger right now. It's an awesome charger. When you plug in the battery, a little red light appears, and when it's charged up, the light turns off. So this battery is good. These 3 are still charging. And yeah, I just keep a Ziploc bag full of batteries so they're ready to go. Got all the batteries here. And yeah, that's it. So to sum up, for $60, absolutely I recommend buying this. It's a good, sturdy drone. It takes a good amount of abuse. The propellers are great, comes with extras, but the camera is absolute garbage, and I recommend, to get the best enjoyment out of it, to run it like this, stripped down. This is a much sportier way to run it. I want to point out just one last thing. When you put the batteries in, there's a screw that holds the battery compartment closed. Don't bother putting that screw back in each time. It's a waste of time. This clips fairly nicely. Just want to point out, it's really tight in here for the battery and the cabling. Like, I was having trouble getting the door closed, so I just took a knife, and you can see here where I've cut, like right there and right here. And I do that so that the cables can actually go into the body of the drone. And just by making those little cuts, opening up this area, makes it much, much easier to hold the battery in and get the cables in and have this all fit and close up nicely. So I also highly recommend that you get a knife. That is it. 60 bucks, awesome drone, highly recommend you buy one. But don't buy it for camera or first person view, because you will be disappointed. Tanbrolo signing out.